Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Brittany, and if this is your first time stumbling across one of my videos, I usually focus on fashion, beauty, luxury, lifestyle, fragrances, and pretty much whatever else I feel like talking about. So if that seems like something that you may be interested in, go ahead and click on that subscribe button if you enjoy the content, of course. Also, if you're already a subscriber, go ahead and click on that notification bell so that you do not miss an upload from me. Okay, y'all, so in today's video, we're going to be talking about new fragrance releases. I feel like we have had so many new releases lately, and I've acquired quite a few fragrances, so I kind of wanted to compile them all into this one video and give you guys my thoughts and let you know if I feel like if they are worth the hype, worth your coin, or just worth a sniff, okay? And if you guys are interested in individual reviews on these fragrances, just leave that in the comment section down below and I will do my best to get those out to you. So if you are interested in seeing the new fragrance releases and hearing my thoughts, stick around. Okay, so first up, let's talk about this exciting release from Sniff. This is Rose Era by Monet McMichael. She partnered up with Sniff to come out with her own fragrance, and there was so much hype around this fragrance, and I love when another content creator gets the opportunity to express themselves and work with a brand like this. To me, this is a dream collab for me. So I definitely wanted to get my hands on this, and I just loved how pink the packaging was. I did purchase this with my own money directly from the Sniff website, and I think the packaging is just absolutely gorgeous. This was a blind buy because I ordered it as soon as it came out, but y'all, look at this. OMG. Like, no one has done it quite like this. This opens up into like a beautiful rose. I think this packaging is absolutely gorgeous. So of course it's all about the juice, but packaging like this will get me every single time. And it looks like all of the Sniff fragrances. However, I just love how they allowed her to do pink. I don't know if it was her idea or Sniff's idea, but a pink bottle, this is just the cutest thing. And I like how small it is actually, because you can just travel with this super easy. I can throw this in my handbag if I want to. The caps are magnetic, so we love that. Now, Rose Era is described as an aquatic, fresh, dewy rose. Okay, so let me read off the notes to you guys. So this has a blend of ambretti, damask rose, dewdrops, fresh laundry, orchinox, pear, rose centifolia, saffron, strawberry, white moss, and woody notes. And more specifically, it has some interesting notes, y'all. The fabric note, there's a note of fabric in here, if you will, which is of course like a fantasy note. And then the dewdrops and soap, obviously. Usually with soap, you get like an aldehydic type of vibe. I will say that this does not lean too aldehydic like say a Chanel fragrance, but I definitely do get that soapy kind of fresh laundry vibe to it. Okay, so let's give this a little spray. Now I have worn this already, but you know, just to refresh my memory. Yes. Okay, so this is definitely, as it's described, definitely one of those clean, fresh out of the shower type of rose fragrances. The rose is not too heavy or too mature in any way. It's definitely like a pink rose, which I love. I love a pink rose, like think peonies or, you know, damask rose. That's what's in here. And what I will say is I definitely get the ambrette seed in this. I get a fruity touch. Now, the fruit in this to me is nondescript, even though it's mentioned that strawberry is in this. I can understand it, but it's a nondescript fruit. It's definitely more of a fresh rose scent. And it reminds me of fragrances like the Glossier You or Miss in Person, the Clean Skin Reserve type of line. It reminds me of those with that ambrette because it has like that molecular type of vibe in there that makes it like your skin but better. But this one is a little bit more complex and more of a fragrance than it is a molecular scent, because I definitely get a lot of rose in here and I definitely get some aquatic notes. But that ambrette seed definitely reminds me of those like Glossier You type of fragrances. And those are really on trend right now, I would say. Those, you know, cool girl, your scent but better type of fragrances. But I feel like Monet McMichael did this in the most girly, pretty way, and I can appreciate it. So overall, I think this one is worth the money if you are looking for just an everyday, fresh, shampooey, girly, airy, light rose fragrance. This retails for $65 for 30 ml, and I think it's really nice. And because it is limited edition, this is something that I'm super happy to have in my collection. The next fragrance that I have here is Radiant Grace by Philosophy. Now, I did receive Radiant Grace in PR, but of course, I'm not required to talk about it or even enjoy it. So I definitely wanted to come by and give you guys my thoughts. Now, I have the original Grace fragrance, which is an everyday, fresh, clean type of scent. To me, the Philosophy fragrances are nice for people who do fragrances one at a time and they like to just be able to run to Ulta or run somewhere and pick them up. They are more on the affordable side, but they're not fragrances for, in my opinion, fragrance collectors per se or lovers. More just fragrance I enjoy smelling nice, right? So this is Radiant Grace, and this to me is just like a musky, woody scent with a hint of cherry. And let me just tell you, out of all of the Philosophy fragrances, I really do enjoy this one. I feel like this one is the most unique. A lot of people like the warm cashmere line. I'm not a fan of that. I barely smell it. This one is light, but it is so beautifully blended. I really do think this is a nice fragrance, especially if you are tired of cherry fragrances being done in the exact same way. I feel like after Tom Ford Lost Cherry launched, there were so many different fragrances that had cherry in them on the market, and they were all kind of done in that same kind of syrupy cherry way. This one has black cherry, but I would say this is more of a woody musky fragrance than it is a cherry fragrance, and I can appreciate that in my collection. And the notes in this one are very simple. There's only 3 notes. So we have black cherry, jasmine, and sandalwood, all notes that I really do love. So let's go ahead and give this one a little bit of a spray. Yeah. Oh, I really like this, you guys. Shockingly enough, oh my goodness, this is beautiful to me. And again, it's just a beautiful, musky, woody fragrance that has a little bit of fruit. Like the black cherry in this, it really adds something to this fragrance. This is so nice. I love this. And I would say this is more of a sophisticated cherry fragrance. Like, this is really good for Philosophy, you guys. I mean, it's a good fragrance in general, but for Philosophy, this is really nice. It lasts on my skin pretty much all day. I would say 7 to 8 hours on the skin. And I think that's really good longevity for a Philosophy fragrance. It's definitely, in my opinion, worth your money. You can go smell this at Ulta along with Rose Era. Now that's available at Ulta as well. But yeah, get your nose on this one, y'all. I think this retails for around 70 bucks or so. And it's gorgeous. Okay, y'all, so since we've been talking about fragrances at Ulta, I have another fragrance here by Noise. Now, this is a new, and I would say quite interesting and unique brand, okay? So I did receive this in PR. I was able to choose one of the fragrances blindly just by reading the notes, but they also sent me over like a little sample set, and I've been sampling them. So the one that I actually chose is Love Club. Now, this is an eau de parfum, and y'all, the bottle is actually super cute. Now, Noise describes their brand as like an unfiltered brand that creates premium scents that last all day, that evoke emotion and raw feelings, okay? So this one is called Love Club. And let me just tell you this, after sampling all of them, they have really mastered the art of coming up with names that make it make sense with these fragrances. They're all quite unique in my opinion, and yeah, so definitely worth getting your nose on, but none of these in my opinion are safe blind buys, okay? Because reading the notes, the fragrance smells a little bit different, but it definitely smells like how they describe the fragrance, if that makes any sense. So let's get into the notes of Love Club. In the top, we have Sichuan pepper, saffron, Italian mandarin, and bergamot. In the mid, we have leather, pink rose, raspberry, and violet. And in the base, we have patchouli, ebony, black amber, and marshmallow. How interesting do these notes sound, y'all? So let me go ahead and refresh my memory. I've only worn this one twice. wants to sample. I always sample fragrances and wear them to bed. And if I hate it and have to scrub it off, I don't even bring it to y'all. But if I can make it through the night and like really get a feel for it, that to me, that's just the best way to sample fragrances. Because when you're going to bed, you don't want to be inundated with just too much. You know what I mean? So yeah, y'all, this is a super unique fragrance, definitely unisex. When I first spray this, I definitely get a green type of vibe and a lot of leather. Okay. A lot of leather. So what I will say is that the leather and the saffron comes off literally like a leather jacket or leather seats in a car. No lie. Okay. And this definitely reminds me of like being in a club. You meet this like cool guy. He has on a leather jacket. He probably smokes and he may not be the best for you, but something about him is super intriguing and he kind of just has this mystery about him that has you really swept up off your feet. Okay. He's not too manly to come over and talk to you, but he's definitely cool and he's not going to give too much, but he's definitely going to let you know he's interested. Okay. And his hair is kind of slicked back, but he's still clean. He definitely showers. He's just like very mysterious, kind of dark in a way. And he has that little smell of cigarette, but you can tell that he is a clean man and he likes niche things. Okay. So don't get it twisted. It's not giving dirty. And it's definitely not giving unkept. This is a guy that has a little bit of a coin, but he likes to keep it on the bike. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the vibe that I'm getting from this fragrance. So now that it's drying down a little bit more on paper, I definitely get a little bit of that rose in there. I'm not getting any of the marshmallow. Patchouli in this, surprisingly, is not too heavy. I will say the leather and the saffron definitely stand out along with some citrusy notes. So it's going to be that bergamot and that mandarin. I think this is a sexy, fresh fragrance. And it's very interesting because it's that leather and saffron. The way that they've done this leather and saffron in Love Club, it makes it super like, again, unisex, but it's still very fresh and unique. Like interesting fragrance. Now, after smelling all of the fragrances, I would not say that this is my favorite, but I will say that this one is the most interesting in my opinion. Ones that I really enjoy are Unmute. To me, that's a super woody vanilla type of scent, very unisex. Kind of reminds me of like Vanilla Skin from Fleur or Vanilla Vice, I believe it's called. But with Love Club, I would just say that this is a fragrance that's so unique. I haven't smelled anything like it. Definitely not blind buy safe, but I do feel like it's worth going to smell, because if you're looking for something new, like if you're a fragrance collector and you just have so many different fragrances, it's hard to find something new and intriguing. This one is that. To me, this is not like a super refined fragrance though. To me, this is a very casual night out type of fragrance. I'm not thinking elegant when I smell this, as you heard by my description, but I am intrigued by this house and I definitely think you guys should get your nose on some of their fragrances. Again, these are available at Ulta and this one is called Love Club. Okay, y'all, next up, I want to talk about Rosendo Matou's number 8. If you've been following me, you know my love for Rosendo Matou's number 5, which is like this very sexy, musky, sensual vanilla fragrance. It is phenomenal, not safe for work. So of course, when they came out with number 8, and this one was described as fruity, amber, and exotic musk, I had to get my nose on it. And I have to blind buy Rosendo Matou fragrances because nowhere around me sells these. So they're all blind buys, okay? But I fell in love with number 5 and it is one of the most unique fragrances I own. I still have not smelled anything like it. So I know what I'm getting myself into when I do blind buy these, but this one, it sent me for a loop, okay? Let me read you guys the notes and then we're gonna get into my thoughts. So the top notes in number 8 are pineapple, apple, pear, and citruses. The middle notes are cinnamon, amber, iris, Bulgarian rose, and patchouli. And the base notes have notes of vanilla, cedar, guaiac wood, and vetiver. Okay, so when I thought about this scent, I knew it wasn't going to be like extremely surface, right? But I was super excited about that pineapple. I had been on a tropical fruits type of spree when it came to purchasing new fragrances like mangoes and pineapple. So when Rosendo Matu came out with the pineapple scent, I was like, yes, I think it's like the first note. It is, yes. You definitely smell pineapple, you guys. You definitely get pineapple out of this. However, this is a cinnamon balm. Okay, so I get pineapple, pear, apple. It's blended to perfection, and you do get that burst of fruitiness, but it's not juvenile in any way. But you definitely get that cinnamon. I mean, it is so prominent, and I was not expecting that. So let me go ahead and spray this one out on paper. I've worn this one a couple times. Whew, yeah, it is so different. Like, but the cinnamon, y'all, I was not expecting that. To me, cinnamon reminds me of like holiday season, like Christmas, Thanksgiving, and I get that in this. This is more to me like a fruity fragrance that is appropriate for colder weather, even though it's still light, fluffy, I guess. That's cinnamon, y'all. So yeah, it's very cinnamon heavy. Okay, I don't think that this is Blind Buy safe. I also do not feel like number 5 is Blind Buy safe. But this one, like, if you want a fruity fragrance in your collection, but you don't want it to be juvenile in any way, but you definitely want to be able to smell those fruits, because these are like baked grilled fruits. Think of baked grilled pineapple, baked grilled apple, baked grilled pear. It's given that. So it is sweet, don't get me wrong, but it has that smokiness to it a little bit. That's not leather. That's also not like overly woody. It's the cinnamon, y'all. The way that they've done this is very interesting. Okay, so I have worn this, but it's all about my layering combinations when I do wear this, because I did get it in the hotter weather. So right now I'm just trying to make it a little bit more vibrant. Also, this layered with Miami Nectar from Ellis Brooklyn, y'all know that's my scent of the summer. I know it doesn't last forever, but I have several travel sizes of that along with the big bottle, and I just always keep it in my bag because it's just that good. Like, you need Miami Nectar. We've talked about it enough, but this with Miami Nectar, first of all, the longevity is out of this world, so it makes Miami Nectar last super long. But Miami Nectar is this aquatic, juicy pineapple that mixes beautifully with this. Okay, so it's like, I wish those two combined was this scent, because oh my goodness. But yeah, this one I do like. It took me a little minute to get into it. This is the newest release from Rosendo Matu. If you like his style of fragrance, he has a very unique style, then get your nose on this one. I would say try to get a decant, okay? Otherwise, I need to wait until more holiday season, more like October, November, December, January, to really see how I'm feeling about this one, because the cinnamon on this is super prominent. It's like if you were making cinnamon, like boiling it on the stove, or if you have like an air freshener that has cinnamon in it around the holidays, or a candle. It's that type of cinnamon, but it is mixed with those fruity notes. So yeah, definitely a unique scent, definitely grown and sexy, and I would say right down the middle when it comes to being unisex. So yeah, that's Rosendo Matu number 8. Next up, we have my first Navitus perfume. Look at the packaging on this. This is like a leather heavy case, you guys. Like, this thing is heavy. Okay, so when you open this up, Here you have your fragrance perfectly sitting in like a satin little pillow. And let's pull her out. So this fragrance is in collaboration with AI the Great here on YouTube. And she has, I want to say, 3 fragrances with Navitus. This is my first Navitus and also, of course, my first AI the Great fragrance. Her first one had like a banana note and everyone says that it smells like Bananas Foster. And then her second fragrance is known to smell like gummy bears. It has like a pear note in there. But when I saw that she was coming out with one with rose, y'all know how I feel about rose, and I've heard that she does fragrance in a way that is super unique and very like sophisticated. So that's something that I look forward to because I like when fragrances have fun notes in them, but it still has that elegant, you know, womanly touch. So I thought this one would be a safe blind buy for me out of all the 3 because I know I love rose, and she also has some pineapple in there. And like I said, I was on the hunt for like those tropical fruits. So let's get into the notes of Amore Infinite. Okay, so the top notes has red fruits, pomegranate, grapefruit, bergamot, and pineapple. The middle notes have rose, honeysuckle, orange blossom, and jasmine. Those very concerned about. Not a huge honeysuckle fan, not a huge orange blossom fan. We've talked about that. In the base, we have white chocolate, driftwood, vanilla, heliotrope, and sandalwood. So out of all these notes, I was concerned about orange blossom, honeysuckle, and white chocolate. But I also felt like the white chocolate would be okay because it would just add like a smooth, creamy sweetness, because I do not like chocolate fragrances, okay? But that's usually milk chocolate or dark chocolate. So this, it threw me too. Let me just, the bottle, okay, before I even get into my thoughts, let's get into the bottle. This is absolutely gorgeous. Okay, now the price point on this is quite expensive. This is $280, but you do get 125 ml, so it is bigger than most fragrances that you purchase, because usually the biggest is a 3.4 ounce, which is 100 ml. This one is 125 ml, but it does retail for $280. Now I was able to get this 30% off because she had like a promotion going on. I don't know if it's still going on, but all of her fragrances were 30% off, and they usually do that at Navitus anytime they have a new release. So that person's like fragrances that they have with the brand will be 30% off. So I did get this for around $208 shipped. Now let's get into my notes. I gotta spray this one out, y'all. I've worn this 3 times. Yeah. There's something in this that is very confusing to me. So when I first smell this, I definitely get citrusy and rose. And I am very confused on what else I'm getting. I don't get pineapple in this at all. I mean, I'm not saying that it's not there. I definitely get fruity. But I get white chocolate. And freshness. So I don't know if it's the driftwood and the orange blossom honeysuckle mixture, because those are the only notes that I would say are like unique for me. Of course, I've smelled them before, but I don't have a lot of fragrances with that. Driftwood to me is like that fresh type of woody smell. So that's probably what it is, mixing with the orange blossom and honeysuckle. What I will say, that this is not the orange blossom that I usually just despise, like the one that's in Libre and stuff like that. I do not like that type of orange blossom. This one is not sweet. This fragrance is not sweet to me. Not gourmand sweet. Let me say that. It's not gourmand sweet. When I read that it would be pineapple and white chocolate, I really thought that this would be like a Flormand, like a rose gourmand type of fragrance. And I'm not quite getting that. Now, I will say that this is a very sophisticated rose scent. It is a pink rose, but it's not the same type of rose that's in like Rose Era. It's not that fresh type of rose. It's a little heavier. What will give this some freshness is like the citruses in here, the driftwood. And it is a creamy type of fragrance too. It's not sweet gourmand, but the sandalwood definitely gives it a little bit of a creaminess. Yeah, it's just something about this fragrance, y'all, that's like, I mean, I just expected something different. And that's one thing you don't want to do. Like, you want to have an open mind when you are blind buying and purchasing. I will say I like this fragrance, but I'm shocked that I don't like it more than I do, you know, because I just thought that this was going to be a no-brainer for me with the pineapple, the rose, like the sweetness of the sandalwood. The other notes are coming through and it's giving it such a unique scent. Like, I've never smelled anything like this before. Okay, the more that this dries down though, the more that I really like it. So this is something that I definitely like to layer, but I also wait on the dry down to really enjoy this fragrance. I wore this one to bed and it was very strong and it does last for a very long time. So that's good. This is an extrait de parfum, so you know it is going to have a higher concentration of oil. But yeah, this one, I don't think this is blind buy safe. If you're like me and you like a rose scent, it ain't that, in my opinion. So to wrap up a more infinite, I will say that everything that people say about AI the Great's fragrances are true when it comes to her creating very unique fragrances. Okay, but for me, and maybe it's just my chemistry, even though I'm smelling it the same here on this paper, I feel like the notes are kind of like, they're not how I would expect them to be. So like, I smell a lot of sandalwood and white chocolate and red berries, but I'm not getting like those, you know, that pineapple and the rose. It's not drying down in the way that I expected it to. Let me just say that I'm getting more of the base notes as soon as I spray it, and then it just turns into more of just like a creamy rose type of scent. That's sweet. So overall, I would not say this is blind buy safe. I think you definitely need to get a sample of this if you can. It's a very unique fragrance, but if you're expecting like a sweet gourmand rose fragrance, it's not quite that in the way that I feel like most people's minds would go to. Okay, get your nose on it before you spend 280 bucks. Okay. Okay, y'all, so next up I want to talk about Karaoke Heart from the House of Juice Box. Listen, this fragrance has been super hyped. Okay, this fragrance is, especially if you're in the, you know, fragrance world, you have heard about Karaoke Heart and you would know that this has been sold out like for the longest. Okay, so it's really hard to get your hands on this one, but this one is available at Twisted Lily, and they are the ones that seem to restock this fragrance the quickest, in my opinion, and you can get a sample from them. So I love Twisted Lily. I'll go ahead and put my code down below just in case you guys want to shop and get 10% off. I did purchase this with my own money, but I am an affiliate with Twisted Lily. So anyway, back to Karaoke Heart. This is a mango fragrance that has the fragrance world in a frenzy. I blind bought it because, again, everybody was talking about it. It was super hyped. And when I got this, I was shook. I'm not gonna lie, y'all. I was shook. Okay, this is, again, not one of those juvenile mango fragrances. It is a juicy mango fragrance, but it's not juvenile by any means. Let's get into the notes. So in the top, we have mango, pineapple, and lemon. There's that pineapple again. In the middle, we have rum, sandalwood, and peony. In the base, we have vanilla, ambroxan, and labdanum. Okay, you guys, this is definitely a mango, pineapple, rum, ambroxan fragrance. Those are the notes you get. The mango and pineapple become one in this. I definitely get both of those together. It's a pineapple. Okay, it's a pango. It's not a pineapple and mango. It's a pango or a pineapple. That's what that fruit is. It's like they have merged those together as one. And I definitely get rum, so it's going to give it a little bit of a booziness to it, but then you get a blast of ambroxan. To me, the ambroxan makes this super sexy. It makes it super like unique and very niche, you guys. very niche. It's not that sharp citrusy pineapple. It is sweet, juicy mango pineapple, and the rum grounds this beautifully. Does this have sandalwood? I would not be shocked. I can't remember what I just read. It does not have sandalwood. It has, oh yeah, it does. It does have sandalwood. I'm like, I smell that creamy sandalwood in here. Yes, the sandalwood just makes this very creamy, but you also have the sweetness of vanilla, the rum, the pineapple, but it's not sickeningly sweet to me. That ambroxan really does make this scent or break this scent for some people, in my opinion. For me, it makes it, okay? Because had they not had the ambroxan in this, this would have been, like, to me, a sickly, syrupy, sweet fragrance. And I know a lot of people are looking for that type of mango, but again, when I'm looking for even fruity scents, or like even if I wanted to smell like cotton candy, I don't want to smell like literal cotton candy. You know what I'm saying? I want it to have that fragrance element to it, and this one is just, you guys, it is beautiful. It's so good. So let's go ahead and spray this one out on the card. Y'all, so I'm gonna just say this. I don't think that this is blind buy safe, because I have heard a few people being disappointed in this fragrance because they just expected something different. This fragrance, think of like Ebra Pura, okay, from Xerjoff. You know, like that musky, fruity type of thing that it has. This has that vibe. It doesn't smell anything like it, but it definitely has that vibe. So that's what I mean by that fragrance element, because if you think Ebra Pura is like too much for you, think of that, but adding super sweet mango, pineapple, and rum. It's so good, y'all. Like, I really, really, really like this fragrance. But again, the ambroxan in this will make or break it. I think the ambroxan is just too much for some people, but to me, it's so good. It's like that Dubai vibe, you know, and I love a Dubai vibe when it comes to my fragrances. Oh my goodness, y'all, I am stopped when I wear this fragrance. This is one of the only ones I would say that I am literally stopped in my tracks by people, and they want to know what I'm wearing when it comes to like this haul that I'm talking about today. This, it kind of gives you a little bit of the Rosendo Matu number 8 vibe, that musk in there. The ambroxan in this is reminiscent of the musk in that, but this doesn't have cinnamon. So replace the cinnamon in that with the rum. Like, yeah, this is, I really like it. So overall, I love it. This retails for $215 and it's hard to find. Do I think this is worth the hype? For me, yes, because I'm more of a floral girl and I like vanillas as well. I don't usually go for like super fruity fragrances, okay? So for me, this is worth it because this is a fruity fragrance, super fruity, that I've added to my collection, and it's unique for my collection, right? Because there's no florals in here for real. So I'm just getting like fruity but yet elevated, and I love that. And y'all, this is beast mode. This lasts forever, okay? It lasts forever, and it projects like no other. Like, something about this ambroxan, it literally lifts off of you. It like wafts off of you. I went to like an outlet mall and we were walking around outside, and y'all, I was stopped by 3 people asking me what I was wearing, okay? And it was this, and I didn't even put on a lot, and I had it on already for at least 6 hours, because earlier I had went to go get my nails done, went and grabbed something to eat, and people were still smelling this in the hot heat, like walking around. So to me, this is beautiful. It's perfect for vacation. I have been loving this fragrance a lot. I went through a whole sample, and so overall, I do love this fragrance. I think it's good, and I want you to get your nose on it, and I definitely want you to comment down below and let me know what you think. Get you a sample from Twisted Lily. You can still get 10% off of samples on Twisted Lily, but they should have this one in stock. Okay, y'all, so we're nearing the end. Next up, I did get a PR package from Commodity. And this I received in PR. They reached out to me and they sent me their new fragrance by the name of Juice. If you're not familiar with Commodity, they are known for their milk fragrance. It's literally called Milk. I'm not a fan of that one. So I was a little bit concerned when I saw that they wanted to send me one. So I didn't know what to really expect. So anyway, let me show you. This is the PR package, you guys. So one thing about Commodity, they come in different tiers. Okay, so they will come out with one fragrance, but they all vary a little bit in the 3 different tiers. So what they do is they do like a personal fragrance, then they do an expressive fragrance, and then they do a bold fragrance. I think that's super unique. I really enjoy like how this house creates. So yeah, let's get into this. So Juice is their newest release. Now, I was seeing all this, you know, PR around Juice, and I don't know if it's super hyped, but I think it was definitely anticipated because they have not come out with a new fragrance in quite some time. But when I was seeing like all the ads, I was seeing fruits that were dripping in syrup. And to me, I was like, ooh, this is definitely going to be something new for Commodity, because Commodity does fragrance in a way that to me is quite unique. They always, to me, most of their fragrances are very unisex. And even if it says like vanilla, you can expect something a little bit different, right? And so when I was seeing these like dripping berries, I think raspberry and strawberry, I was like, I'm curious as to how this is going to be. So I have been wearing expressive, and I've only tested out the other 2 like at night, but I've worn this one a few times out. So this is the one that I want to start with. Okay, y'all. So Juice is described as a floral, fruity fragrance. We have top notes of raspberry and strawberry. We have middle notes of Bulgarian rose and cyclamen. And then we have base notes of rhubarb and amber wood. Okay, I like this. I'm gonna just say it. I do like this fragrance. When I first smelled it, I immediately thought of Delina though. That is my immediate thought. Does it smell exactly like Delina? No. Is it a dupe for Delina? No. But I definitely get raspberry and rhubarb. And the reason why I think of Delina, the original, is because rhubarb is very prominent in Delina, okay? And rhubarb is also a very unique note. Before Delina came along, it was a very unique note. So when you, that's why Delina is so descript. That's why Delina is so, or was so unique. So when I smell this, I get rhubarb, fruity rhubarb, right? And it's really nice. I definitely get the rose in this too. I feel like I can smell every single note in this fragrance, even though it is well blended. Yeah, let's go ahead and spray this one out. I already have a little dent in this too. Whoo, she's punchy, okay? Yeah, this one is super punchy. That rhubarb is so prominent in this. It's super tart. Almost mouth-watering, or you know, like tart, like when the back of your jaw kind of hurts a little bit. That's what just happened when I smelled this. Like, it's so punchy in that way, super juicy, but you definitely get that rose in this, and you get amber. I like this, y'all. This is like a really nice, surprising scent from Commodity, in my opinion. I've never smelled anything like this from them. I never would have thought they would have done something like this. So think of Delina in a more unisex type of way, and with raspberry. That's what I'm kind of getting, you know? So overall, I think this one is actually kind of worth it. Like, I really enjoy this. Y'all know I'm a Delina girl, but I'm more of an exclusive girl and a La Rose girl. The original Delina, the rhubarb in that, is very strong to me, but because I've had those in my collection for so long, I'm used to it. And now I really do appreciate what rhubarb brings to the table when it comes to fragrances. Yeah. So think of a more approachable Delina, okay? Because you definitely get that fruity raspberry rose combination that's so juicy to me. But it definitely is grounded in some wood and amber. I would say this is, again, a little bit more unisex than Delina as well. Not a little bit, a lot more unisex. but not in the way that this smells like a man by any means. Like, to me, this is still a great, it's literally genderless in my opinion. I don't even want to go unisex. I want to say genderless, because that's how I view Commodity as a brand. They have genderless fragrances. Like, to me, this is very feminine when I'm wearing it, because I am that. But if a man was wearing this, I think it could be masculine, but still juicy. Like, I don't know how they're able to accomplish that, but it's really nice. On the dry down for this, I definitely get a lot more woody notes. And the rhubarb is prominent, and it lasts all the way through this fragrance. It really does. So yeah, I definitely recommend you getting your nose on Juice Expressive. This is the middle one, and to me, it's the best one. I'm gonna just go ahead and put that out there. Let's get into the other ones. Okay, so next up we have Juice Personal. This one will come in a white bottle, but of course I just have the travel size. I'm just gonna spray this one in the air. This one has an added note of violet leaf, and I get a lot of violet. This is softer, it's not as punchy, and it's not as tart. The violet definitely smooths this one out, and I really like this one. To me, this one is a little bit more office appropriate, not because it's just closer to the skin, but also because it's a little bit more elegant. I would say the rhubarb in this one just makes this one like so punchy that it's a little bit more fun and a little bit youthful, more youthful. This one I feel like is just a little bit more of a sophisticated take on Juice. You definitely get the Juice DNA. It's just not as tart and it's not as punchy with added violet leaf. And I really enjoy the violet in this. Violet is quite tricky for me, but the way that this one is done is really nice. And also I can see myself mixing this with other violet fragrances. So I have Marshmallow Island from Chansu, which is a Black owned fragrance house. That is super heavy on the violet, but it's very, very, very sweet. This would uplift that fragrance and make it not so sweet, but those violets together, they mix beautifully. I like this one. Would I purchase this one? Yes, I would. I am happy that I have it in a travel size though, because this is more my vibe. I want to smell, if I'm going for something like this, I want you to smell me. I want this to be punchy and like someone's going to stop me. You know what I mean? This one, I think you would just smell good. You'll smell elegant. You'll still smell fun, but this is just, in my opinion, a little bit more office appropriate. It's nice. It's very sophisticated in a playful way, not sophisticated meaning old by any means. Okay, so I do like that one, you guys. Now lastly, we have Bold. Now usually everyone thinks Bold, let's go for Bold, it's going to be stronger, it's going to last longer, blah blah blah. I'm gonna spray this one in the air. This one's not my favorite. Okay, now does it smell so far off from this? Not so much. I would say that Personal and this smell more alike. I definitely get less rhubarb in here. Definitely not punchy at all. This one has added notes of vetiver and patchouli. And the patchouli is done really smooth in here. It's not too dirty, but this is definitely more masculine in my opinion. I do feel like this is a more masculine leaning, juicy fragrance, or fruity fragrance, if you will. So if you are a guy and you're looking for, you know, juice, I would go for Bold if you're a guy, because it's not as punchy. It's not as sharp or tart and mouth-watering. But it smells good, you know? So out of all three of these, I would pick up this one. I'm glad I got the big bottle of this one in PR. And I would also purchase Personal. If for my girls, these are the two I think you need to kind of focus on, unless you like super woody, you know, if you like vetiver in fragrances or patchouli. Not that this is done in a bad way, but out of all three, these are my top picks. And this one is the most, I would say, attention grabbing, if you will. So the middle one, most attention grabbing. This one, perfect for work. And then Bold, I would say a little bit more masculine, a little bit more woody. All right, y'all, this video is extremely long. I'm gonna see how I can cut this down, but you guys know I love talking about fragrances, and I definitely wanted to come by and talk about all these new releases, girl. There's other ones that I haven't even gotten my nose on, like Vanilla Skin from Fleur that came out with the Parfum. There's a few different ones. There's this Cirque du Soleil fragrance that came out. I really want to get my nose on it, but it has a popcorn note in it. I'm scared. So yeah, so many new releases, you guys. Let me know some new fragrances that you have been enjoying. Let me know some ones that you've tried and you absolutely do not like. Meet me in the comment section. And I thank you so much for just tuning into today's video and hanging out with me. But that's all I have for you today. I will have everything linked in the description box below, along with any coupon codes that I have. And I will talk to you in my next video. Bye, y'all.